Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another travel guide, and this time my husband and I headed up to Porto for 4 days, and I thought I would record everything we did and break down our itinerary so you can get some ideas for your next trip. Before we do that, I wanted to share with you guys the platform I've been using to book our hotels called Plannin. Plannin is very kindly sponsoring today's video, and you can think about Plannin like the Google for finding the best deals on hotels. They partner with big names like Booking.com, Priceline, and Agoda and put everything in one centralized place, allowing you to save up to 40% on hotel deals all over the world. You can use the link below to sign up for Plannin for free. The platform is completely free to use. You don't pay any fees or anything like that. So it really just is a perfect search engine to help you save on your travels. You can order it however you like. So for example, set the prices from low to high or by relevance. And in our case, we were looking for a hotel that gave very autumn, wintry vibes, something very classic that would be in a central location, easy for us to access everything that we wanted to visit. And we ended up going with Hotel São José, which is this little 3-star, very small hotel in a very centralized location. So it's 2 minutes walking from that beautiful blue tile church that everyone seems to post on Instagram. And we wanted to see if this hotel would look as cozy as it did in the pictures in person. We paid $42 per night, so it was very affordable, $20 each. It had excellent reviews, but especially everyone seemed to like the location a lot. And Plannin made it very easy for us to find this option, which I'm very, very grateful for. So thank you so much to them again for sponsoring today's video. Here is what the hotel looked like in person. So as you see, the pictures were very true to the size of the room and the style of the room, and everything was very clean and very nicely put together. So we really enjoyed this stay. The very first thing we did after we dropped off our bags was head on over to this shopping mall called Via Catarina, because I'd seen pictures online and it has these cute little houses in the food court. So it's just a very nice place to grab some food. Then we headed over to Rua de Santa Catarina for some shopping. We didn't actually end up shopping, but browsing was super fun. We found this one store that looked like an underground metro station, but just for shoes, which was really fun. And we stopped by a few other places. After that, we headed on over to the Ultimate 5D Flight Experience. It's this 10-minute 5D flight that gives you a really nice rundown of the history of the city. And if it's your first time here, it's definitely perfect to get to know a little bit about how Porto came to be. After that, we walked down to the São Bento train station, but we didn't actually go to the train station. We just walked around this area. I'm giving you this point of reference just so you know where all the nice walks are. And this is also where you'll find really fun stores like this giant sardine shop filled with really colorful carousels and all kinds of different canned fish and sardines. It's a very cool souvenir to take home. And if you want a good quality pastel de nata, then you want to stop at this place called Manteigeira. It's their specialty. It's the only thing they sell, and you get to see them make them in real time, which is a very fun experience. Then we headed over to the Clerigos church, and we actually bought tickets for a cool virtual experience that happens every evening. I'm going to list all of the activities we did down below. I highly recommend sitting out to the sides because you get the best view. Do keep in mind that this makes your neck hurt a little bit because you're looking up the whole time, but overall 10/10 experience. After that, it started getting dark, and so we headed over to the Mercado de Bolhao, which is this very fun, traditional little market, and you can find all kinds of things. It's open during the day and at night. During the day, you find some more of the fresher produce, like meats and fish usually are not available at night. But as you can see here, a lot of the stands were open. This was around 7 p.m. and you can buy chocolates, olive oil, honey, all kinds of different souvenirs. They're just very nice things to take home with you if you don't like accumulating junk and you like taking something that you can share with people back home. And we ended up having dinner after that in the upstairs floor of this called Herdade 1980, and it's this beautiful restaurant with traditional Portuguese food. I had the octopus and my husband had the steak, and they were both absolutely delicious. On day 2, we headed on over to the Cultural District. It's also known as World of Wine, and it's honestly a fantastic plan if you have a rainy day like the one we had. It's also just a great way to spend the day in Porto in general because you learn a lot. We ended up getting the daily ticket, which honestly was the best value for money, and I will leave the link down below, but this essentially lets you go into all of the different museums because what this is an area with a lot of museums, and so you get to explore all of these different fun museums. The first one we went into was Planet Cork, and it basically tells you the story of cork used for wine bottles, but also for all kinds of different things, and you get to discover a little bit more about it. We also ended up with a very fun souvenir because you can engrave your names for €1 into this little cork screw top thing, and then you get to take it home. So this is what ours looks like. We just put our names and the year. You also got to see how they use cork for props and for fashion and for surfboards. So it's overall a very fun experience. After that, we headed on over to the wine experience, which is very similar to the Cork one, but they just explain to you all the different kinds of wine, not just in Portugal, but all over the world, different kind of soils you need, how the seasons make all the vineyards change, how a grape looks like inside, which was really fun. You have a lot of little photo opportunities for Instagram, and at the very end, you get to participate in a wine tasting where our instructor explained to us how you serve wine, how you let it air, how you taste it, the kinds of tastes that you can look for and expect. It's perfect for wine connoisseurs and people who know nothing about it. It's a great experience in general, and Porto is actually the ideal place to do this because they're very well known for all of their Douro wine. The port wine they gave us was actually Taylor's, which is right nearby. It's a winery that's literally walking distance, and the guy that did the wine tasting suggested that we go to the restaurant there for food, and this was definitely a more higher end experience, but I cannot tell you how worth it was. I had the duck, my husband had the cow meat, and it was really, really good. After that, we headed on over to the Chocolate Story Museum, in which, again, you guessed it, they teach you the history behind cacao, how they make chocolate, but also they have their very own chocolate factory in this museum. So you get to see them make the chocolate, you get to try just cocoa beans. It was horribly bitter. Here you've been warned. But they just show you the process of turning the beans into chocolate. There's even a little machine where you can use your daily ticket to try to win a bar. And then at the very end, they have this giant gift store where you can try all different kinds, or you can buy all different kinds of chocolates. Within the experience, they also give you some of their own chocolates to try. We tried the mint, hazelnut, and the berries one, and they were all absolutely delicious. So very much recommend this experience. After that, we headed to the museum called Porto Region Across the Ages, which is very historically dense, and it takes you through everything from the beginning of times, essentially, to all of the different ages in history. And you get to go inside this boat look-alike for the ones they used for traveling overseas. You get to take pictures inside of a typical Portuguese tram. This location is also great for having a beautiful view, both during the day and night, of some of Porto's beautiful bridges. The very last museum we went to in World of Wine was the Rosé Museum. I have to say this was my least favorite one. I thought that everything was very aesthetically pleasing, but I don't think the experience was like wow. But I'm not a huge rosé fan, so if you are, they let you try up to 6 different types of rosés through your experience, and there are little areas for pictures, which that I did find very fun. There was this giant pool with balls in it, and it was really fun. We went at the end of the day, so there was no one there. And there's also other photo opportunities like this fun little upside down setup, and also a champagne bottle that you can pretend to come out of, which was very fun. We ended ended this day, of course, by having a Francesinha, which is a typical Porto dish that I highly recommend. On day 3, we went on a walking tour, which again, I will leave linked down below. We had an absolute blast on this walking tour. They take you through all of the main attractions of Porto and they explain everything to you. Also, it includes an entrance to the Lelo bookstore, which is very famously known as the bookstore that inspired J.K. Rowling. And again, there was a very long line. There always seems to be, according to our tour guide. The ticket to enter is €8 if you buy it separately, and you get to use those €8 towards a book purchase. So it doesn't just go towards the ticket. They just had to implement this because there was too many people and the bookstore is too small.
No glimpse of doubt. But where are you now? Years have passed and restless legs have settled.
Through this walking tour, you actually also get to ride a boat and cable carts. The cable carts were closed on the day that we went for maintenance, but usually they've never had that problem. So if you're looking for a way to learn more about the city and be very time efficient, maybe you only have a few days in Porto, doing a walking tour for a few hours is definitely a beautiful way to solve this. We visited some churches, some viewpoints, and after that we headed to the boat tour, which essentially takes you past all 6 of the bridges in Porto, and they explain to you a little bit of the history behind each of the bridges, and you get to just appreciate an amazing view of the city, the river, everything in between.
Restless legs have settled. We're finally home. Down is up. Been at the top. We're finally home. What a release to find one's peace. What a landscape to never be less. Have passed and restless legs have settled.
And we thought we were headed home this afternoon, but it turns out we actually wanted to explore Aveiro, and so we decided last minute to stop by Aveiro on our way down to Lisbon. It's about a 1-hour car drive from Porto, so if you do have a car and you have extra time, definitely check out Aveiro. We also used Plannin to find the hotel that we stayed at in Aveiro, and we ended up paying $58, I believe, or $60 for the hotel that we chose. Don't forget that by signing up for Plannin using the link below, you can save up to 40% of hotels worldwide. The first place in Aveiro we decided to stop was Costa Nova, and this place is known for the very, very fun colored striped houses. And of course we had to stop there and take some pictures and just walk around. It feels like a little storybook, so it's very cute. And we found out that they have these giant cookies that they make in real time, I guess, for you. And the typical pastry or the typical taste for Aveiro is called soft eggs, which is ovos moles, and it's actually very sweet. It's not what it sounds like. And so that's the one that I had. And after that, we just went to the beach to watch the sunset and enjoyed our little evening in Aveiro. Another restaurant recommendation is Solar do Bacalhau. It's supposedly a codfish only place, but of course it also has meat options. So my husband had the beef and I had a incredible cheese and codfish dish and then an apple pie. Day 4 was the day that we ended up actually enjoying what Aveiro is best known for, which is its little boats and bridges. They have these bridges where people make a wish and tie a string to it. And we also did this very fun little boat tour where they tell you the history of the city. And again, leaving that link down below in case you're interested. It's a very affordable activity. Our last stop was Confeitaria Peixinho, which is one of the oldest and most well-known ovos moles, which is the traditional taste stores, but they have all kinds of pastries that you can try. I recommend getting a box of these specifically, and they have a little sitting area upstairs where you can sit down and enjoy your little breakfast or just snack. And then it was finally time to head back down to Lisbon. But if you know us, you know that we made another pit stop, and that was Nazaré, which is known for the tallest, biggest waves in the world. Funnily enough, there were absolutely no waves when we went, and supposedly November, December is an excellent time to catch waves, but of course, like everything in nature, it's going to depend on if Mother Nature decides to gift you the privilege of seeing the waves. And in our case, we did not. But I will say, it was still very worth it. They have a museum where they show you all kinds of surfboards and tell you about all kinds of different athletes that have attempted these waves. And they also show you the geography behind why it is that these waves are so big, and it's very, very interesting. The views are also breathtaking. So if you have some time to pass by Nazaré, I highly recommend it. That's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.